Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's Tuesday evening. It is 9 o'clock. Time for a live stream. But first, as always, a little music. Enjoy. Good evening, Anglo.
We are all the heirs to Scotland, as a nation proudly stand. We will march beneath her banners to protect our ancient land. In the glens and cities, there on every street are the living heroes no army will defeat. Let a flag mean freedom and not a battle drum. To the world we bid a welcome in 1,000 different ways. We will toast to long lost friendships as we build our better days. In the glens and cities, there on every street are the living heroes no army will defeat. Let our flag mean freedom and not a battle drum. We are all the heroes of Scotland. We're a nation hand in hand. We will march beneath her banners to protect our ancient land. In the glens and cities, there on every street are the living heroes no army will defeat. Let our flag mean freedom and not a battle drum.
Good evening, folks. I hope you're all cozy and well, safe. The weather's definitely on the turn now. That's for sure. I noticed, incidentally, I've got 3 videos from resisting the lies. DJ, in other words. Saladin, Wolfie. So I just noticed that late this afternoon that he has put out a couple of new videos. Ah, yeah, the autumn can be beautiful. It really can, Toffee, no doubt about it. Gorgeous. It's dry, usually cold, sunny, gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. I was just saying, Toffee, I don't think you will have heard this just before you arrived. Uh, DJ has put out two new videos. They're on my, don't know what you call it, but because I'm sub to them, they come up on this. Uh, as I say, I'm not quite sure what you call it. I'll need to unsub his channel. Well, this doesn't it doesn't surprise me in the least, Toffee. Not in the least. Toffee's saying he threatened to top himself on Telegram the other day. DJ, he's like a teenage girl begging for attention. Best just to ignore the scumbag. Well, that's what I intend to do. That's why I was so pleased that you told me about all of this stuff. Um, because he might have been tempted to come to me for sympathy. But I'll need to unsub him, otherwise he'll keep popping up. Homepage, is that what it's called? I just noticed it late this afternoon, and obviously I realised this is what he was up to. By the way, Toffee, I was listening to your live stream the other night. No, last night actually. And I didn't want to type it all in because it was a bit too long. So I hope needs a Glasgow kiss. Yeah, I know what you mean with that. It's an oldie. So you were talking about music and what have you, and you seem to be rather taken aback at who was behind a lot of the music and a lot of the television shows. Sorry to say that's something I've known about for a long time, but I thought you might want to know also, just for your own record and memory, um, before pop music really, but what we might call popular music, but not rock and roll popular music as you and I might know it. The music industry really was housed in Soho, in a place known as Tin Pan Alley. At that point, it was completely and totally run by the Jewish community. But of course, in those days, it was either a one or a two-man team, because one would be usually a piano player, and the other one would be the person who would come up with the lyrics, and they would write these songs out on sheet music and get it published on paper, on manuscript. And they really controlled it all. Pop music, more or less, crushed that whole setup, broke the monopoly that they had. But of course, they formed a fresh monopoly on the back of it by quickly taking control of the venues where pop artists and groups could play in public. And that's how they got a grip of the pop music, by moving into management, by buying up uh, cinema houses that could no longer afford to keep their doors open. Music for Truth. Good evening. A new name that for here. Uh, So I thought you might want to know this if you don't already know it. But as I say, it was a bit long for me to start typing in. Uh, I'm not that fast with the typing. I thought by the time I get all this down, you'll be on to something else. So I thought I'd wait until tonight so I can speak to you and tell you straightforwardly. So there you go. The truth of the matter is, Treble M, and we're going to talk about suicide. If you remember, as some of you might, I have very direct and personal knowledge of this subject because I have attempted it myself in my own life. But it is true to say that some people will say it and do nothing about it. Good evening, David. Thank you for your email and information and music for truth. I thought about the S word in my time. I think it might surprise everyone just how many people do think about it and just how many people don't do anything. I remember very well the thing that changed everything around for me. So I had done the usual or the common thing. Oh, David, sorry if a wee bit off myself tonight. Had a few drinks, lost a friend in Derby to suicide. Just heard last few days. So I'll make my story short. I bought a couple of cans of beer and 2 bottles of different 200 bottles in the days when you could buy them, and proceeded to take them. I waited until Helen, my late wife, had gone out to work. So I had taken this, these pills and this drink around 9 o'clock in the morning. Next thing I know, I waken up the following day in the local hospital in Paisley. And Helen's at one side of the bed, and there's this doctor at the other side of the bed, who turns out to be a psychiatrist. And he said to me, "Yeah, I understand the problem, John." And just him saying that simple sentence made all the difference. So after a day in the hospital, getting my stomach sorted, I I went to see this man. Truth, Music for Truth. That was in Paisley. I was living in Paisley at the time, and I went to see this Dr. Hewitt. And one of the first things he said to me changed my whole life. And I would say it to you. And it was this. He says, I said, "Well, I don't feel as though I belong anywhere." And I didn't. And he said to me, Life is like a parade, John. And we're all in this parade. And the thing is, you're marching to your own tune. And that's what makes all the difference. And that's why you don't feel as though you belong. It's because you're not marching to other people's tune. You're marching to your own tune. And that was a simple thing that was said that changed my whole outlook to myself, where I was in my own life and where I was wanting to go in my own life. And I owe a lot to Dr. Hewitt for those simple words. And I think that's the trouble with a lot of people. Toffee. I like that, Toffee. My stubbornness makes me immune from depression. I see life as a battle, and you won't effing beat me, life, you little prick. I didn't really think I was suffering from depression. I was lost. I was in my late 20s and I didn't know where I was going. I was looking for a future and I hadn't found it yet. Don't worry about the sweat, Toffee. um, and David's saying, well, he's addressing you, Toffee. Think the same. Another mantra, the, the old man's. No matter what, keep moving forward, pick yourself up. Yeah, that changed everything for me. My whole attitude to myself, what I was trying to do with my life, and my attitude to the people around me at the time. And I never looked back. So the thing, what I'm trying to say in this long-winded window into my own life is the fact that if DJ was serious about taking his own life, he would have done it. The only thing that saved me from death was obviously it wasn't my time to go, was the fact that Helen came home from work and found me. Streaky, the worst I ever felt was when I had a close 3 family bereavements within 6 months. I was miserable as F for ages. I can well imagine that, Streaky, of course. And this is I would say to all of you, if you ever feel yourself a little bit lost in your own life, is you have to march to your own tune. You have to find that path of your own, regardless of what it is. And I'm sure this is a very sincere offer, and I would offer the same. In fact, I have offered the same in the past myself. Um, and that's what we mean, of course, when we talk about community on these channels. Genuinely, says Toffee. Though, if anyone ever feels down in the dumps, I'm always happy to lend an unjudgmental ear. And I mean that. And I'm sure he does. If Toffee is nothing, he is a genuine person, that's for sure. If he's nothing else, but he is a lot more than just a genuine person. And that's the thing, folks. If you do need someone to listen, they don't have to be an expert in whatever it is that's ailing you. You just have to know that someone is there who cares enough to listen to you. And more often than not, folks, there are no ready-made answers. Streaky. If anyone wants to talk to me, they can F off unless they pay me to suffer their whining. Just as well we know that's not true. This is what part of why we're here, folks. That's what we mean when we say community. It's so we can help one another because, well, we all know that our society has been so fragmented and so many people are alone. In fact, music for truth is saying, yeah, recently I didn't want to live anymore. Simply having no money and a family to feed got too much. Well, that will get you every time. I'm glad you got yourself through it. There's Wolfie chipping in as well. There's always a way glad you didn't. Yeah, that goes for all of us, I'm sure. Certainly goes for me, and I like to think that I am speaking on behalf of all of you. Because it just feels as though when you're like that, you just feel as though there is no solution. I know that was the way I was. I thought the only solution to my difficulties was to remove myself from those difficulties, which of course was not true. Toffee, can anyone else relate to this? If I feel sad, it just manifests itself as anger. I don't do upset. I just get angry for feeling upset. Weird. It's obviously the way you respond. I think, is that not really a question of frustration at what seems like your inability to help yourself when you are in that particular frame of mind? That's what it sounds like to me, Toffee. The frustration of inability to self-help, and that's the whole thing of it. Quite often we can't self-help because quite often we're not seeing the problem uh, rationally and properly. It takes someone on the outside to reflect back to you. Exercise is the key. I I think there's various solutions for various people. Well, absolutely, Margaret, you're right, of course. Yeah, from being afraid and frustration of the inability to self help, I think. Treble M saying, anxiety is a horrible experience. It's almost unbearable. Panic attacks are diabolical. Yeah. Well, that's brilliant of you to say that, Kate. It really is. Bring that back. Nice to hear this conversation and see the support. I'm a HMH professional, and most of my patients wouldn't need to see me if they had a community like this. Evening, folks. Evening, Kate. It's very gratifying of you to say so, Kate. Toffee saying I fell out. with everyone when my dog Susie died a few years ago because I just got angry about it. I think it was healthier for me than getting depressed about it, to be honest. Well, your own psychology is obviously um, responding in a way that is more natural to you, Dovey. The main thing is, as far as I'm concerned, and all of us are concerned, is you got yourself through it and you're here, and that's the important part. I think it goes for all of us, Wolfie. He's saying it's so sad that we're so atomized, and it is. I'd go mad without like minded people to talk to. I think we all need this to be able to talk to others who are like us enough to identify with. I think you're right, music. We do need more of this. I was going on to say that, um, as some of you know, my sister is involved in community type work. She works for a private charity, well, funded by the town council. Sad to say it's under threat, and this is part of what they're involved in. They call it befriending, and what it is they have volunteers of various ages, men and women, and they get matched up to people who are alone and lonely, and they are put together, and one befriends the other, and the other befriends the befriender, and they form this little unit, and it's highly successful. There's more to it than that, of course. My sister started another group. Um, she called it Brew Buddies, and it's people who, and this all came out of the lockdowns. People were absolutely desperate for companionship, and she started this Brew Buddies, mainly older folk. They come into the office and they have a cup of tea and a biscuit or a bun, and they just sit and do what we're doing, talking. Now, I know we've got a foundation of politics there, but that's not the point. The point is this group now has formed into quite a tight group. They now go, they organise themselves and they go for live shows every now and then. This week, I didn't bother bringing it on because it's too small, but there's a piece in the local Telegraph, the local paper, where they had brought children in from one of the local schools dressed up uh, because of Halloween. So they have come in and entertained this group of men and women singing songs and uh, saying poetry and what have you, bringing people together. This group is getting bigger and bigger, and I'm waiting until such times as I can step into this group and offer support from our party, a little bit of financial support, because it's growing. And it's something that we spoke about on the channel, if you remember, not too long ago. Sad to say, uh, it was DJ and his girl, my sister, and myself. We spoke about the problem of loneliness, and the idea was we were going to get back another stream and figure out a way of doing something practical to help. Now, I don't know if that's ever going to happen now because of what's going between DJ and BBC. Um, I hope she doesn't fall out. I hope she continues to join us, because there is a huge, huge need for something, some kind of structure where people can meet up and shake off some of this loneliness, because it affects everyone. It's not just the elderly. This is what my sister's telling me. They're getting younger people chapping on their door now. Now, thanks to the Labour government, the cuts that they are bringing in has just slid all the way down to these small groups. And my sister's organisation, it's not her organisation, but the one she works for, is now under threat of being abolished. And all the work, all the various different aspects of what they do is now under threat. And I said to her, well, we'll see if we can do anything via the party, because it's too valuable, this, to the community. It's far too valuable to the community to just let go. And I know from what she tells me, this is required everywhere. It's awful. I mean, it is just bloody awful. Music saying, for me, the anxiety was so physically unbearable. I just wanted to end the agony. It's calmed down now, thank God. Yeah, thank God indeed. Well, that's good. That's good to know. Oh, there's a woodlander. Okie doke, woodlander. Thank you very much for your your praise. He's, he's repeated himself twice. I don't know why that is. But he has. As I say, thanks for the high praise, Woodlander. Ah, there's Edmund. Good evening, Edmund. Takes a lot of time, Streaky, to learn to trust people, especially if you've had a bad experience. And most people have, sad to say. Nobody gets through life unscathed. Oh, you remember it, Toffee? He's saying John's sister is so lovely, and I can hear that Liverpudlian accent there, extending the soul. I remember that stream with her a few months ago. That's right, such a beautiful soul. Her accent reminded me of my mum. Good grief, but less aggressive sounding. Well, this is the thing. We had, yeah, I'm sure you will remember, we had said what we would do. We'd go away and we'd all think about it and try and figure out something that we could apply ourselves to help alleviate this loneliness problem, even in a very small way. And I still think it can be done if we put our minds to it and our determination to it, because it's absolutely vital. There's just no doubt about that. Kate obviously has heard this before. Lifeline, befrienders are a lifeline for a lot of people. And men's sheds, another good one. Absolutely, you're right, Kate. I'm a member of men's sheds. It's a great for men who want to do something practical and talk to other blokes, and that's the beauty of men's sheds. For the guys who have not heard of this before, it started in Australia a number of years ago. It's now worldwide, and that's what it is. It's a place where men and men only can go and be with other men and talk out their problems if they wish, and do something practical because guys like to do that. So it has a work. They have a workshop and they make things. And it's the same thing. It takes that loneliness away. They make friends because most of the guys are uh, had been made redundant from the shipyards and the factories around here. So there is a common language there, a common experience there that can reunite them, so to speak. And they can form little friendships within the uh, the actual club itself. It's very, very good. I always forget about the men's shed. So there are things there, and we need to promote them. We have to get people involved in them, and we as a party need to become involved in it as well. That's what I've been trying to do, as you know, with the chess tournament, because that can appeal to men and women. You're absolutely right, Margaret. That's I would say that's a big part of the problem. Well, that's what I would hope. It's so difficult. You have no idea how difficult it is. In this town here, they have destroyed, done away with all the places that people can meet up unless it's a pub. And I'm not keen on that. The idea of holding a chess tournament in a pub just does not ring true with me. But I'm having one hell of a bother trying to get anywhere else. And lately, with my health being up and down, I haven't been able to chase up the Salvation Army because they've got halls. Now, I ran the tournament for the first time last year, but that venue, which was perfect, right in the centre of the town, was a business, and it went out of business, so it's no longer available. And we had over 25 people taking part. The party put up, I mean, we voted on it, but the party put up uh, prize money. We got plenty of publicity. I can always get plenty of publicity for anything I'm involved in, simply because I've got a record of this. And I've encouraged other party members to take it upon themselves to do something similar. They don't have to copy my ideas. Not everyone's interested in chess. I mean, if you're interested in football, I mean, there's your another idea out. Well, for men anyway. A football competition with prize money. There's plenty of things that can be done. The truth of the matter is, folks, if we want to build our communities, that means we have to do it ourselves. That means we have to give up so much of our time away from the computer, away from the house, and getting out and mixing with the community. Because that's what it means. There is no other solution, folks. I hope she comes back too. I have written to her, Anglo. That's all I can do. I can only write to her and ask her to come back, and I have. Because she was keen on trying to find something to help the plight of those who are feeling lonely. And that applies to all of us at some time or other. Streaky, you're telling me something I don't know, Streaky. Weatherspoons is essential for communities, not only a lifeline for retired people to engage with each other, but so I could get drunk get drunk as if for £2.20 a pint on Snowball cider. Oh, never misses a trick. And I've been plugging this for long enough to try and motivate. Well, if the council are determined to shut this charity group down, then I propose that as much as we can. The party will get behind it and try and save something from it. Hasdak, good evening. I'm sorry to tell you it's true. Yeah, I'm sorry to tell you it's true. I was I was absolutely flabbergasted. Music. I started doing my own lives recently, just to find like minded people. I've waited half of my life to find like minded people, probably more than half of my life. We needed the internet. Don't have a Weatherspoons here. Well, I hope you're okay, Hasdak. You're a bit hard on yourself, Toffee. You know that? Well, that's good news, Hasdak. I'm so pleased for you. And you're 50 tomorrow. Oh, happy birthday to you. So, and now you've got a clean bill of health. That's great. What happens? Good evening, sir. Now that's terrific news. Couldn't have come at a better time then. So pleased for you. I really am. I'm sure you'll savour every moment. Walking the Lurcher. What happens? Doesn't get any better than that, my friend. Let me tell you. Streaky saying men's sheds are also a great way of burying that nagging cow you live with, lads. Simply dig a hole underneath your shed, then board it over with scaffold planks. I recommend men's shed and tie braids. Yeah, an H in the chat, definitely. Brilliant news, it is. It's brilliant. Where's mine? Oh, I bet it has, Nasdaq. I bet it has. I know how you feel. Edmund, my hometown has been destroyed over the past 30 years. Yeah, sorry to hear that, my friend. Too many of our towns have been destroyed. Nasdaq, I don't feel 50. I'll bet you don't. Tricky Baking, my brain thinks I'm 19. I'll bet. I'll bet. Music for truth. Where is Scotland? Are you, John? I was in Edinburgh recently. I live in Inverclyde in the town of Greenock. I know that problem. So that's where I am. I live by the River Clyde. Apart from 10, 11 years when I went into exile and lived in Paisley, I've always lived. I was brought up here, born here, brought up here. And apart from the 10, 11-year period when I required to go into exile, I've always lived here. It must be pretty bad where you are, travelling around where I live. The changes in the past 4 years, she's saying, has freaked me out. For those who don't know, Treble M lives in the heart of London. Well, that's it. Angela, we have to ignore this. You see, we have to just say, no, you're not on. You're not effing on. We're here. This is our heartland. This is our home. We will make our communities, despite you and your mad ideas. Now, I don't mean we should do things that are crazy or illegal, but we should stand our ground at every opportunity. Toffee, I spoke to her this evening. She's sound. I think she's just waiting for the dust to settle after that little cowardly piece of shit and his videos trying to lay a guilt trip on her. Right, that's terrific news. Oh, great to hear that, Toffee. I really am. I was hoping that she will become involved with the use of her camera. A wee bit of help, perhaps, from me in that direction. She only lives up the road and she's got a car. So I'm hoping that she'll be back when she's over the worst of this, if she ever is. But you will not get respite here at my door, nor any other door, as you well know. But that's great to hear. That's great to hear. So pleased. Good on you getting that connection. Good evening, Hasdak. So great news you've got. Really is. Really is. The best news I can get is, and I got it last time I was at the hospital, was uh, the doctors telling me that my cancer's stable. That means nothing's happening. That's the best it can be for me, and that's great. And you've got even better news. Oh, that seems to be the general opinion, Hasdak, from those who have had any real involvement with him. I haven't had any real involvement with him, except he's been on this channel a few times. He's the one that's always said how much he thinks of me and how much I remind him of his granddad. And outside of that, he and BBC came to the house on a visit, which was great. And obviously, nothing untoward showed up. He'll not be back, of course, that's for sure. Well, she's welcome anytime. And not him, that's for sure. Making that, Kate is saying, making that goodbye cruel world post, then pretending to disappear while removing emojis was so manipulative, really horrible. Gets worse the more you tell me. Dreadful. But that's good news from Toffee, though, that she's not given up her connection to us. Needs a slap. I think he needs more than a slap, Toffee. You know, of course, in the old days, a group of men would take care of that problem. I'm all good, John, says Hasdak. Just can't motivate myself. Must be old age. No, what there'll be a little come down from where you were emotionally because you'll have been high though and beyond for obvious reason. Then you're getting told that all clear, and that will create a collapse in emotions. You just woof, down you'll go, and that will produce a slightly negative effect. But that will go away. So I don't think that's got anything really to do with old age. It's more to do with high drama emotion that you've been going through, and then a relief and release from that. Take you a wee while to recover. Well, that's what's going to happen, Hasdak. I haven't yet done it, but I will do it when I'm finished here on the stream. Because I don't want him trying to get in touch with me. Anglo, fair play to Spoons. How long before Starmer and his mates ban alcohol? Jesus. Wouldn't put anything past this lot. Talk about full-on communists. Certainly are that, Anglo. Be a riot in the country if he tried to do that. Just remember the last time prohibition was tried in America, look what it led to. That's for sure, Wolfie. The wonderful and vibrant melting pot myth, says Wolfie. These people are delusional. They're dangerous and delusional. Wow, how good is that, Hasdak? That's really, really a hand of providence is at work here. Without a doubt. I recently found my aunt, who I thought was dead. I'm off to spend my birthday with her tomorrow. She's had no family for about for years. You're being guided. I'm convinced. Oh, Chief Moody, good evening, sir. Chief Moody. Oh, there's my long lost H there, Hasdak. I don't know what happened there. I'm telling you, the hand of providence is guiding you, without a doubt. Oh, that's lovely, Hasdak. That's really, really nice to say. The hand of providence is at work here. Oh, it is a national problem, Edmund. There's no doubt about it. That's why we need to do something. No matter how little it is. This group that my sister's involved with, to say initially it started for old folk during lockdown. Now they're special needs people knocking on their door, asking if they can come in. So there's a huge, huge need, longing, hunger for this stuff. And we have to do something. Margaret, I was worried and was trying to contact him as I was in the Telegram group, but then he appeared back on YouTube, very manipulative. A huge national problem, Edmund. Hashtag. Wait a minute. Am I reading that properly? Effing hell, says Hashtag. 5 times a woman beater. What a shitbag. Holy Moses. Anglo saying, John Davison, were you the inspiration for Begbie and train spotting? I don't know. I doubt it. Peterborough says music has changed. It's the new world. Don't like the sound of that at all. Good evening, Gavin. I had to get out of London. I was sick of being the foreigner. Awful. Don't blame yourself, Margaret. How can you possibly know these things? That's the point, Toffee. How can you possibly know these things? It takes time to really get to know someone. I think everyone has been shocked by this, and they should be shocked. It's so out of place in our circles, that kind of behaviour. It just is. Doesn't belong amongst us, that's for sure. Well, that's good. That's good for both. That'll be good for both of you, Hasdak. That's for sure. I think they found some calcium stones in my saliva glands. So just waiting to see what happens next. Well, they can pulverize those things into nothing from the outside with modern equipment. It's amazing what they can do now. My big mate's just had some stones removed from his body, and it all went well, thankfully. Try not to worry, considering the good news that you've just received. Is that right, Toff? Is that what you're doing? He keeps deleting my comments, pointing out, he is a woman beater on his videos, right in there within seconds, deleting my comments, and I'll bet he is. I don't think, pardon me, I don't think there's any doubt about that one. Music for truth. No doubt whatsoever. Yeah, you really will have a tremendously emotional time tomorrow. That's for sure. That'll lift both of you up. And that's a certainty. Remember, Friday is film review night, Margaret. You take care of yourself now. We'll see you on Friday. It's been a very emotionally roller coaster stream, is it not? One thing or another. Aye, aye. Edmund, I think we need to remember Peter Lynch and his family tonight, this night, he says. Indeed, Peter Lynch and his family. It's not Lucozade, says Anglo. It's 90% proof whiskey. Ah, he won't be forgotten. Good evening, Scots Armour. Scots Armour is going to be appearing on the channel very soon. And I'm looking forward to that, as always. He always illuminates the channel when he comes on. He is always interesting things to say. Well, it's very good of you to offer to buy them, Azdak. But you don't need to do that. What you need to do is send me an email so I have your address and a list of the tracks that you're interested in, and we'll take it from there. I'm not having any more operations. They always F them up. I know how you feel, Hashtag. The idea, I'm talking about me now, the idea of me going back into hospital again uh, just turns me off. You've no idea. My hands, so painful, agony, up to here, up to the elbow, and both taking blood every day. It was awful. I got to the point when I saw the woman coming to take blood, I would just sink. My heart would just sink at the thought of it. Edmund, like Sean Connery, I've never understood why you shouldn't hit women. Yeah, Scott's armour. I only found out myself. So you best knowing. Apparently, he gave his girlfriend something of a doing. And apparently he's been doing some other really scumbaggy things, pretending to be dead and one thing and another. Good evening, Robert. Good evening, Ludwig. Well, the only thing is to be sorted now, folks, is for Scott's Armour to pick a date. But he'll be on soon, don't worry. Toffee. Scott's Armour is like the Tooth Fairy. Appears once every few months, and it's always lovely when he's been. Well, the thing is, music, the tighter the, these channel communities become, the more difficult that will be for anyone to try and divide us. That's the way I see it. The tighter we become, the closer we become, the more difficult it will be to infiltrate and try and destroy the community and unity that we have built up. And we have built up unity. May not always seem that way, of course, but I think it is. They use mesh to repair a hernia. The mesh is still there, John. Causes pain and discomfort. Carpal tunnel. And then on my right hand, messed that up too. I hate to tell you this, if you've never been to a university where they teach medical students, you may not know. I'm laughing, but it isn't funny. I found this out when I was at Glasgow Uni. You only need to get 40% as an undergraduate medical student to pass your exams. That means you don't know 60%. Think about that. That's me and my sister. Kate. That's who that is. That's my sister Alison when she's just a babe. And me, what age am I? 17. So there you go. Father and baby. if she's not in the channel tonight, I need to tell her that one. Well, folks, it's got to that time. And it's been a very emotional and interesting live stream. Oh, there's Steve. Good evening, Steve. Don't worry about it, my friend. You can always watch the replay if you want. So anyway, I love that photo. You may not know, Steve, but Toffee has made some sort of contact with PBC and she is not going to desert us. She's just waiting for the dust to settle, which is terrific news. So on comes the outro. So, friends, I shall be back for the movie review on Friday. I'm looking forward to that, as always. And enjoy your day tomorrow with your auntie, Hasdak. Great news. Well done, you. I think the hand of Providence is guiding you a little bit there. I really do. That's no bad thing. I think it's been a great stream. If I don't mind, if you don't mind me saying so. So anyway, fear not, fear nothing, says David. Yeah, send me an email, Hasdak. Put the tracks, list the tracks that you're looking for, okay? And we'll see what we can do for you. All right. It means a lot to me that people like my music enough to ask for copies. Well, thank you, Treble M. So, as I always like to say, my friends, adios, au revoir, cheerio, and until Friday evening, goodbye for now. Enjoy the music, and thank you all for being here. Take care.
Silently the snow falls, paints a winter scene, swiftly spreads the dark rim, hides the fading autumn green. Moonbeams brush the dark wood, conjure friendships dear to me. Lightly now the breeze flows, disturbing more than just the leaves. But life's much more than we can know. We are one small glow in the eternal flow. Patiently the love grows, lifts the weary heart. Gently now she holds me, melts two worlds once apart. Moonbeams brush the dark wood, usher dreams of you and me. Softly then the breeze blows, disturbing more than just the trees.
All together
but
now,
love's much more
so much more
than we can know.
than we can ever possibly know.
We are one small globe
But an important
in the eternal flow. Melodies of long ago,
this is called the
songs of
eternal flow.
innocence, harmonies to soothe the soul.
The one at the beginning of the
Past
stream
the
called Scotland.
consequence, moonbeams brush the dark wood, awakening joys of you and me. Silently the snow falls, bringing winter symphony.
All together now,
But we're much more
so much more
than we can
than we can
know.
ever possibly know.
We are one small globe
But an important glow,
in the eternal flow. But life's much more than we can know. We are one small globe in the eternal flow.
so take care, folks. And again, thank you for being here. As far as the music's concerned, I can go over it a little bit on Friday and put out titles. I hope everything is well with you, Julia, or as well as it can be. Take care.